How's it going, everyone? My name is Mike, and I will be doing a thru hike of the Pacific Crest Trail starting in May of this year. It's actually not my first thru hike. I did do the Appalachian Trail in 2015. I went northbound from Georgia to Maine, and I actually released a video series highlighting that trip. My trail name was Just Mike. I'm currently 34 years old. I'm originally from Nashville, Tennessee, but I live out here in beautiful Flagstaff, Arizona right now. So I think I'll just briefly explain what I've done over the last 6 years since my Appalachian Trail thru hike. Well, basically in late 2015, I flew down to Australia, and I lived in Australia for a year on a 1-year work and holiday visa. I lived in Sydney for 6 months, and then the remaining time down under, I traveled throughout Australia and also went to New Zealand for about 6 weeks. After that, I came back to the Empire, worked a bunch of odd jobs in warehouses, just trying to get by financially. And then I ended up working as a ridge runner for the Appalachian Mountain Club in Connecticut and southern Massachusetts. And that was an incredible experience. I actually did that for 2 seasons. The second season I came back as a ridge runner coordinator and got to have a bit of a longer season. But yeah, that was probably the best job that I've ever had. After that, I went on an around the world trip through Europe and Southeast Asia. So I went to Ireland, Italy, Greece, Thailand, Malaysia, and Vietnam. And that was in the winter of 2018. And then I came back to the US in the spring of 2019. And then basically I just moved right out here. I flew back into Nashville, see the folks, and then I drove out here to Flagstaff, Arizona. And I've been living out here for the last 2 years. I actually had a permit to do the PCT last year, but it was a late May start date. I had a really bad draw in the permit system, and that was the only date that was available. And I was still gonna try to do it, but by the time May came around, as we all know, COVID had already taken control of everything, and I never even started last year. So excited to be doing it this year though. The Appalachian Trail was quite an experience, but when I was on trail, I wouldn't say that I felt like it was a life-changing experience. But now that it's been 6 years and I've really had time to think about it and let the whole experience sink in, I really recognize what that trail did for me. And it certainly inspired me to travel more and expand my circle of friends. But even when I was in other countries and things, I always had that feeling in the back of my mind, like thinking like, this is cool being in a faraway land, but it's not as cool as a thru hike. And I mean, I could go on and on about that, but I'm just really excited that I'm taking on another thru hike. So I feel like I kind of know what to expect when it comes to doing a thru hike, but I know that the PCT has its own unique challenges, and I mean, I'm just gonna do all that I can beforehand to make sure that I'm ready to overcome those obstacles. Hiking during COVID will certainly make for some additional challenges, but I'm actually one of the lucky ones. I was working in a critical industry out here in Arizona, so I have received both doses of the Moderna vaccine, so that's nice for me going into this fully vaccinated. But I don't want to drone on about COVID. I'm sure a lot of you are tired about hearing of COVID all year, but it is something that I will be following the rules and regulations on. I'll be monitoring the situation closely, and if I have to get off trail, then that's what I have to do. I'm going into this situation just fully aware of that. I will be releasing videos from the trail, but I just am uncertain about how consistent they'll be. I'm gonna shoot for weekly uploads. So that's the goal for right now, but that might change. I actually used to work in video production. I understand the amount of time that goes into creating content, and honestly, I just don't want to be spending a lot of my time on trail in my tent editing videos on a phone. I'm going out on the PCT to do a thru hike, and if I feel like making vlogs from the trail is cutting into my enjoyment of the actual trail itself, then I will stop making them. That being said, I also plan to put something together after I finish the trail. So whether that's a long form documentary or a series of videos, I'm just not sure yet, but just know that I do intend to make something happen with all my footage after my hike. Don't expect the videos that I release from the trail to be super packaged videos. Again, I don't want to spend much time on making videos while I'm on the trail. I'm not going to be adding music to any of my videos. These are just going to be super raw vlogs. Now, I don't start the trail until May, And I will have some other videos up on this channel that are not related to the PCT before I start. So I think what I'll do is I'll create a playlist and I'll put that link in the video description, and that's a place where you'll be able to find all of my PCT related videos. If you have any questions for me, feel free to write it in a comment below. I'll try to answer it in the next video in this series. And I think that's gonna do it for this video. So thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.